What's up, guys? CO here with the last week of NES Season 1 action. We might have a couple side videos, but this is the last week of actual game stuff. This week we are going up against Super Nerd 92, our assistant coach, slash the guy we've been practicing against all season, slash the coach of the Seattle Wingulls. We both had pretty rough exits to the playoffs, both losing our semi-final games, but I think we both exceeded expectations anyway, so I guess it's not the end of the world. Whoops, this hasn't been going. But anyway, we have decided to play each other in a third place, like, Consolation Cup game kind of thing. It doesn't actually count for anything. I don't even think it's actually going to count for, like, third place in the standings or anything, to be honest, since he did better than me in the rankings. But we just decided to have fun with it and battle each other with our teams, because we both really like our teams and wanted to showcase them one more time. So if you guys missed our original battle, it was a pretty good one. I'll try to link it down below. But this is a somewhat close team to what he brought last time. He didn't have Zangoose last time, and I didn't really expect him to bring it this time, so the fact that he did was kind of surprising. But I was pretty heavily surprised to see that he didn't bring Gudra last time, and I'm not surprised at all to see it here now. Gudra is stupidly fat and will be very annoying to take down, so I have to just be careful. If you guys missed my team builder, that'll also probably be down in the description below if I actually remember. But I decided to have fun with the team this week. I'm going to be leading a Selkor pretty much 100% of the time, because it's just this it's a scarfed lead actually designed to final gambit something on his team that's not Gengar. And just take it out pretty much. I also have Spikes and Yawn if he decides to lead Gengar or something like that instead. But if he doesn't lead Gengar, I'm just going Final Gambit pretty much 100%. After that, I have like a backup lead of sorts in Nidoking with a Shuka Berry to weaken a ground type attack. And either get Stealth Rocks up and kill with Flamethrower or Ice Beam or something like that. I also have Sucker Punch just in case, but I don't really expect to be able to go for it. And I have a Sword Stance Mega Absol, which is something that I haven't brought since like week 2 or week 3 or something. Assault Vest Vaporeon with Scald, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Grass, which was for Swampert, but obviously he didn't bring Swampert. I have a Light Screen Light Clay Scizor, mainly designed to be a pivot, just to kind of help out the rest of my team because they're not super specially bulky. Also has Roost, U-Turn, and Bullet Punch just for damage, I guess. And finally we have the late game cleaner of Curse Miltank with Scrappy and Return and Fire Punch. Fire Punch was meant for his Mega Scizor, which he didn't bring, so basically if I can just weaken stuff, Scrappy Return should be doing quite a lot of damage. So like I said, I decided to lead Scizor, or not Scizor, I decided to lead the Selkor because it's going to outspeed everything, and he leads Tornadus. So I know full well that Tornadus gets Prankster, and I know full well that there was some stuff that he could have done to hurt me here, but I decided to just go for Final Gambit because I completely forgot that Tornadus got Prankster Substitute. Like, the two just did not correlate in my head at all, and he's actually brought this set before, so I kind of knew what to expect, but it's a Prankster set with Prankster Sub, Prankster Toxic, Protect, and probably Air Slash, I guess. It's actually like a really douchebaggy set, to be honest, but I helped him design it, so I guess I can't be too mad about it. But I also know that this set actually does pretty much nothing to Scizor, so although I originally had the plan to pseudo lead Nidoking here after sacrificing myself turn 1, I decided to change it up mid-battle and just go for Scizor here. I figure I can get a light screen up. He definitely won't be expecting it in any way, shape, or form, because I didn't even know Scizor got light screen until like the morning of building this team, pretty much. But after light screen, I won't take very much from Air Slash. I'll be able to live pretty much anything else he goes for. He gets Rocks up, which is kind of normally annoying, but I actually built like a team with my roster that wasn't really weak to Rocks, so I was actually not terribly upset about it, I guess. I go into Vaporeon here because if this thing's defensive, I'll be able to outspeed it Noko with Ice Beam. If not, I'll just be able to get damage off on other stuff. seeing that damage shows me that this is an Assault Vest variant, which is kind of good to know. I would have been kind of surprised if it wasn't, I guess, but it's just good to know that this thing's not some super wacky set, I guess. Ice Beam's still a pretty solid 3-hit KO if I can get rocks up at some point. I don't know what kind of set this is going to be, but because I have the light screen up, I know that I can live a Giga Drain fairly easily, do one better, and predict a Thunder Wave, which I was not predicting. I more predicted a Volt Switch, I guess, over a Thunder Wave, but the fact that he went for Thunder Wave means that Nidoking gets in for free and gets its rocks up, which is nice. It only really hurts Tornadus, but it'll do nice chip damage to everything else. And here he goes for the Earthquake. I live with the Shuka Berry. I would not have lived without the Shuka Berry, obviously, because Shuka Berry makes it so it's half as strong. And I'm able to OHKO with Ice Beam. I was praying long and hard that he was not Yachi Berry Landorus, because he has brought Yachi Berry before. But the fact that I was able to gimmick Landorus out, which is pretty nice, because Landorus did quite a lot to my team. He goes into this thing, which is obviously just going to get some kind of prankster damage off on me. I just go for a Sucker Punch, even though it does basically nothing. And I'm pretty happy with how Nidoking did this week. It wasn't really designed to stick around for too long, but it still got the rocks up. It still managed to... sorry, I didn't actually name this. There we go. It still got the rocks up. It still managed to kill the thing that it needed to kill. It used the Shuka Berry, and it got extra damage off on Tornadus I. So I'm okay with that. It's 5-4, but I feel like I have a pretty good advantage at this point. So I go into Vaporeon here because I still have a turn of Light Screen up. If Light Screen would have ran out there, I probably just would have went back into Scizor and gotten Light Screen up again. But because I still had a turn, I just decided to go into here. Fire off Ice Beams again, because nothing on his team really wants to take it. And look at Vaporeon just being offensive and not just super stally as usual. I'm so proud. Even though Karen's a guy this battle, that's okay. Karen, you can be a man if you want to. So, because I got rocks up, Ice Beam turned into a 3-hit KO, and I'm able to take out Electros, which is good, because that thing was pretty annoying for my team. Oops. That thing kind of just could Volt Switch around, especially after Nidoking went down, and just do a lot of damage to me, so I had to be pretty careful. Glad I got rid of it. So here he goes into Gengar. I know he goes into Gengar because he's going to Thunderbolt. I have an Assault Vest, so I should be able to take 2. I should be able to OHKO here with Shadow Ball, but I'm pretty sure I get a low roll because he lives at 1%. He actually told me after the battle that he was Focus Sashed, but because I got rocks up, Focus Sash didn't matter, so Nidoking put in even more work than I expected. But Vaporeon is the real story here, getting 2 kills and basically matching its season total in one game. That's funny. I didn't even realize that until now. So he goes back into Tornadus here just to finish me off. He's very, very, very weak at this point though, so there's not really a whole lot he can do. I could go into Scizor and get a Bullet Punch. Oops. I could go into Scizor and get a Bullet Punch off here. But I don't really want to do that, I guess. And I'll explain why here in a second once I remember what I'm doing. I'm trying to find Vaporeon on this list. Okay. My GIFs are not super organized. Okay, so here I go into Mega Skrillex, and if you watch my team builder, you know that this is actually a Swords Dance set without Protect. Knowing that this Tornadus is basically the definition of stall, the only thing it can do here is Protect to try to scout what I'm going to go for, potentially just Protect on my Protect, I guess, or try to Air Slash flinch me, which is annoying, but I have enough HP investment to be able to handle it, I guess. He can't go for a substitute because he's weakened by the rocks. Again, Nidoking, MVP. But because he's low, I figure he's probably going to go for a Protect and end up playing off of that and make a very aggressive Swords Dance basically just in his face on the Protect, which felt pretty awesome because at this point, Knockoff pretty much kills everything. I'm a little bummed at this point, if I'm being honest, because it doesn't really look like Miltank's going to really get the opportunity to sweep, but I will also take my Mega sweeping, because my Mega hasn't really done that at all this season. And he's trying to stall me out with sub and protect and stuff, but it doesn't really matter. I just keep clicking knockoff and things keep dying. He brings in Gudra here, which is a smart play on his part, because even though I Oko, he gets the GUI drop to be able to lower my speed. And goes into Zangoose here. I guess he didn't have Protect, which is a little unfortunate, because if he had Protect, I'm pretty sure that Facade would have killed like 1,000,000%. But luckily, Mega Skrillex is actually able to like kind of come through this week and get apparently a late game cleanup. I wasn't expecting this game to go quite as fast as it was, but I guess with how many setup sweepers I had, it was only a matter of time before I found the opening that I needed to. As usual, excellent game, Super. You know as well as I do that your team's awesome, because that's why you made it to the semifinals. But I am pretty glad that I was able to pull it together and be able to pull out a win with some pretty weird sets and stuff. So regarding future content to the channel, I guess, regarding future content to the channel, since the NES was kind of the only thing I was uploading for a while, I've talked to a couple other NES coaches, and we've expressed interest in doing some showdown lives with our teams and stuff. So potentially see some of that stuff coming up soon. I have vacation time coming up in a couple of days, so I'm probably going to try to bulk record a little bit then. Just have some actual content saved on my laptop, so I don't have to constantly worry about finding time to record, which is harder to do than I thought it was going to be. On top of that, I've also talked to a couple of people about potentially doing like partners, Nuzlockes and stuff, so I'll need to see how that goes. I plan on doing a season recap video coming up pretty soon, probably not recording tonight because I've been recording for a while, but I'll be recording that in probably the next coming week or something, just to kind of recap how I feel I used my Pokemon, how I feel I could have used them, things I'll be doing differently for future draft leagues and stuff. And the only other thing I can think of, I guess, is to stay tuned for the NES off-season. I'm not 100% sure on when it's going to be starting, so I'll probably try to upload an update video or something coming soon. But I know that it's going to be a monotype tournament, and I'm about 99% sure on what my type's going to be. The winner of the NES Season 1 actually gets to basically snipe whatever type that they want to use for the monotype tournament. So if they don't snipe ours, we're actually going to be Steel, so that would be pretty cool, because I feel like a mono Steel team could do pretty well. But fingers crossed that we get to keep it, I guess. So thank you guys for your support. Drop a like, subscribe, check out Super's channel, because I'll definitely be linking it below. And have a good night, or day, if you're watching this during the day, I guess. See you later. Bye.